Hello and welcome back to the Rich Salad Show. We are back with another week of some exciting stuff in the film and TV sphere. We love talking about it here. We love all that stuff. We're gonna bring in our guy, David. How you doing, sir?
Doing good. Excited for another week of movie and TV news. Should be an exciting show.
Indeed, man. We got Doomsday stuff. We got some God of War news. I'm so geeked about God of War. We got some Harry Potter news, the new HBO show, and some more. So we're gonna dive in to the world of Marvel, going back to these Doomsday teasers. And I wanted to touch on, since all these teasers have dropped, it's been the subject of conversation for lots of MCU fans, cinema fans. I feel like it's a pretty polarizing topic because the moment like we're showing right here with Captain America, this was the first teaser that dropped. And we talked about it on the show too, where it's like, it didn't seem like it was that exciting. And I think, we'll get into it in a bit. Like, was this release strategy like the best strategy they could have done? Which I think partly probably not. But I mean, from what we've got out of four different teasers, it's been a fun ride because they've been building this hype for Doomsday. So, starting off with this teaser with Cap, we get an idea that he's back. Lots of speculation was that like, is he going to be in a Doomsday? And a lot of people were thinking probably yeah. And here we go. We got the confirmation that he is. And I think we'll kind of go into like the tone of each of these, which I think for me, establishing tone in a teaser trailer especially is super important. And coming off of recent MCU films, we've been getting a nice balance of different tones, especially with Thunderbolts and then with Fantastic Four. Bits of dread, bits of despair, but then bits of vibrancy and humor and all that stuff that make the MCU great, which they can balance tones quite well. But again, with these Doomsday teasers, we get Cap. Um, we also have the one with Thor. Then we have the one with the X-Men, which holy smokes, David, I almost lost my shit on this. Speaking of Ian McKellen, we are just talking about Ian McKellen. There he is right there. You're saying he was 86. He's looking 86 right there, but he's still looking fantastic.
Fantastic 86.
Absolutely. Of course, we got Cyclops in there. So that was the third teaser. And then the fourth teaser, which we got recently, which was with Wakanda and Fantastic Four. So I think what I wanted from all these teasers was a set of a certain tone, and we really got a grounded, visceral tone. More so with the latter three. With this Chris Evans one, we got kind of like a softball. Like, okay, we're getting an idea. He has a child, and that span of time after once we got to the end of Avengers Endgame, you see Old Man Cap like what happened in that span of time. It looks like we're going to see at least part of what exactly happened during that time when he was away with Peggy. So that was exciting to see. But again, with this first teaser, we got that tone of just caring for something. He cares for something. And it seemed like these trailers were going in a direction where it's like kid based. And it's like the speculation was like, could Doom be going after kids? But it didn't seem like that because once we got to the latter two, we kind of diverged away from that. But again, I think with this first Cap teaser, I think most people can agree is kind of underwhelming for a first endeavor into the marketing for Doomsday, and I think that was kind of a short sight for Marvel to start off with this, because I think they were thinking with Captain America like it was going to be a big shock or it was going to be a big bang, but I don't think it was. But then going into the next teaser with Thor, this one for me was when it sold me because this establishes that just grounded tone that Thor is just he's praying to Odin. He's like, and he has just some great like Shakespearean written dialogue that he's delivering so well. It's just so awesome, and you just get that tone of dread and just like hopelessness in a sense that he's preparing for battle and he wants to return home to his daughter, and just the way he goes about that whole monologue is just so beautiful. So you just get a great set of just a great visceral tone in this. And then with this third teaser, man, oh my god, Dude, that shot right there. Come on, Cyclops. David, are you familiar with the X-Men by chance?
I actually am not. I haven't
Okay.
seen a single X-Men movie.
Yeah, so I've actually been going through the X-Men films for the past 2 weeks. So I've seen X-Men, the first X-Men came out in 2000, then I saw X2, have not seen Last Stand, which was the third one, and then after that comes, they kind of jump back in time where it's called X-Men First Class, where it's the younger versions of themselves. And then after that, it's X-Men Days of Future Past, and then Apocalypse, and then X-Men Dark Phoenix. There's a lot of films, but from what I've seen, X2 has been my favorite so far. About to see Days of Future Past, which should be pretty awesome. Which what are people saying? But I mean, from what I've got, uh, just getting to know Charles Xavier and Magneto, these characters, and just seeing this trailer, it's so tender to see these two characters. Because David, so like with Charles Xavier and Magneto, who is in this scene right here, they have a very rich past that's just riddled with lots of dread, lots of just betrayal in ways. Like they started off as best friends, but then things took a turn. But then it seems like within this trailer, we get them back as like really good pals, because at the end of the day, they're all probably going to die from whatever dooms bring into them. So you just get this like beautiful tender moment with Charles and Eric. It's just so sweet. And then going into this Cyclops blast was just absolutely mind blowing. This was the teaser to start. I feel like if you were to choose a teaser to go with to start off the marketing for Doomsday, I think this is the one. This is the one, absolutely, because a lot of people are, from what I've seen, are really loving the X-Men stuff, even though this touches on nostalgia. And I feel like nostalgia within films kind of gets a bad rap because you can tug on it a little too much and you can rely on it too much. But with something like Doomsday coming off of a checkered past 5 years of MCU films and TV, you kind of want nostalgia. And I think these teasers tug on that, because you get Captain America coming back, you get Thor coming back, you get X-Men coming back, and you have that nostalgia within it. So I think if you were to choose a certain teaser to show first, I think this would be the one for sure. And then going into the final teaser that we got late this week was the Wakandan and Fantastic Four teaser, which just tease up these characters meeting for the first time, which is pretty neat. It's a pretty funny moment as well. And I mean, to finish off the teasers with this one, it's I'd say it's a little questionable because it's not that exciting. I think for me, if I were to plan this strategy, I'd want to start with a bang and then end with a bang, just to really keep that hype up. So that's those are kind of my initial thoughts on these teasers. David, what say you about this rollout of Doomsday teasers?
I'm gonna push back with you a little bit on releasing the X-Men themed teaser first, because I think, like myself, I haven't really seen X-Men, so I wouldn't necessarily know that that was like a Doomsday teaser.
Okay.
I think obviously I don't like the first teaser they did with Captain America. The general consensus is it wasn't good. It's not an exciting teaser, and I think that's what people were looking for. I think people like know that Captain America is involved with the Avengers more so than like X-Men. People might
Yeah.
not realize that. So I think rolling that out, something like Captain America related or something that is just very obviously Avengers, was the right decision, despite it not being as interesting. Do we know if
Okay.
we're getting a Super Bowl commercial?
Yeah, so that's the word on the street, is that we're getting something that's
Okay.
cool, which makes complete sense. Like, why not?
Yeah. But man, I mean, that's a lot of money.
Dude, that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. If we're getting a full 2-minute trailer, I mean, that's
Yeah, they're
$30
probably
million
not.
dollars.
Yeah, they're probably not going to do that. Usually, what they do is they show like 30 seconds, and then they'll say full trailer available online now.
Yeah, that's the right read for sure. Because I mean, some companies spend $30 million on the Super Bowl for 2-minute ads,
Yeah.
and it's almost like you're not just getting 100 million views of a dedicated audience. You're actually getting potentially double or triple or 10 times that amount because of all the views online of people talking about it, because the Super Bowl ads are very much like talked about for the next few days at
Mhm.
least, and potentially even years down the line when the Super Bowl comes up and they talk about like their favorite Super Bowl ads. Like there was one Super Bowl ad. This was I think when we were in college. By Mountain Dew. It was the grossest. It was so disgusting. It's called Puppy Monkey Baby.
Oh yes, I totally
But I
remember that.
remember it.
I remember that. Yeah, I mean, just
Right.
by
It
saying it.
was an awful ad. It was so like oh, it was so creepy. But
Yeah.
yet I remember I'm still talking about that. So the thing for like a trailer like being on the Super Bowl 30 seconds, because $30 million to drop just on the advertisement. That doesn't count the cost to produce it. Yeah, so if we're on the streets, we're getting a Super Bowl trailer. I'd be really interested to see if that's gonna pull from like this or if it's just gonna be completely different. It's just gonna be a teaser for the real trailer, which drops.
I loved how each of these tackled the tone, which is just Doom is coming and he's going to wreck everybody. So I think maybe what we'll see first, and I'm hoping, is with this Super Bowl trailer that Doom will pop up, which I'm sure he will. I mean, they announced Doomsday with Robert Downey Jr. So it'd be, and some people were questioning, like, well, are we going to see Doom in a trailer? And it's like, well, hell yeah, we will. Like, why not? It's called
Mhm.
Avengers Doomsday for a reason.
Yeah.
There's no question. So, there's so much hype in this already with like what 11 months ago, however many days. And it's funny because they officially, so David, there's a 24-hour clock or 24-hour stream, showing the Avengers clock that's just going on until it comes out, which is
Cool.
super exciting. And it was, yeah, so it was after this most recent teaser that they dropped that. And that was kind of like the signal that these teasers are done. Because once we got that clock, it's like, okay, these teasers are done for now. Maybe we'll get more in the future, but which I kind of hope we don't. I think they just kind of stick with just a normal trailer rollout. And then, come time around Comic-Con, which I will be there at San Diego Comic-Con in July, I'm sure they're gonna show something there. And dude, it's gonna be impossible to get in to that panel room as it's always impossible, especially I mean, for this it's going to be even more impossible. Cannot wait for Doomsday. It's going to be a fun ride. We will cover it all here. Let us know your thoughts, guys, what you thought of these 4 teasers. Curious to hear them. All right, guys, so we'll jump into some mini topics. I'll throw at David and see his initial thoughts, but first I want to touch on the recent news that the president of Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy, is now out, and there's new leadership coming in to Lucasfilm with Dave Filoni and Lynwen Brennan. Dave Filoni, if you don't know, he's well. Do you know Dave Filoni, David?
No.
So
Sounds
he
sounds like a pasta.
It does sound Filoni. He is a very accredited uh, writer, producer, director of lots of the Star Wars animation projects. But of course, more recently, he's developed the Mandalorian show. He's developed the Ahsoka show. He's been tied to some other project as well on Disney Plus. But in terms of films, he hasn't really scratched that. And
Hmm.
so lots of people question, is he up for the job? Can he handle the task of being a studio head for directing Star Wars in a new direction, or just putting Star Wars on the trajectory to really make a comeback? Because, since Rise of Skywalker, it's been rough. I mean, Mando has been good the first 2 seasons, but season 3, I'm sorry, was low key garbage. It was not fun for me. There were moments for sure, but it just wasn't good. And I mean, what's great is like you've had John Favreau, who's a highly accredited director, who's helped Filoni on his directing journey. So he's had experience with that. But yeah, in terms of steering Star Wars in a new direction, it's curious to see because Filoni is very attached to certain characters, especially because he has such an animation sensibility where he's dealt with characters for multiple years and he wants to keep using those characters. And lots of Star Wars fans want to see something new. We don't necessarily, I mean, I don't want to speak for everyone, but at least for me, I don't want to keep seeing like the same characters just doing what they're doing. Like let's see Star Wars in another setting like the Old Republic or High Republic. Like let's throw in some curveballs and really make this thing interesting. So David, what's your thoughts on new leadership? What are you possibly hoping could come from new leadership at Lucasfilm?
What everyone is hoping for is better movies with richer characters and deep lore, and with the sequel trilogy that we got with 7, 8, and 9. A lot of fans were very upset with how that went down and how that ended. I think they make a good case for it. A lot of instances seemed like it didn't really make sense. So I think what fans are hoping for is just is deep characters and a rich story, and it feels like they're not talked down to. And with streaming, I think because he's worked on shows, I don't think that necessarily disqualifies him from being on movies, because shows are like movies now. They're produced like movies. They're produced like, if an 8-episode show, an hour long, 8-hour long movies. That's what it feels like anyway. So I don't think that would disqualify him from doing that. But just kind of I almost feel like you need massive amounts of Star Wars knowledge to
which he has. That is, yeah. Thanks for bringing that up, because he definitely has, like, he's kind of essentially like he worked directly with Lucas, so he knows lots. He's essentially like the encyclopedia in a sense.
Okay, I mean
So
that should be exciting for Star Wars fans everywhere, to have someone, as the encyclopedia, the Google, the ChatGPT of Star Wars in human
right,
form.
yeah,
To
absolutely,
have him be the studio director, creating movies. Hopefully, I think that should excite Star Wars fans everywhere.
yeah, yeah. Here's hoping, and I'd say for the most part right now, fans are very skeptical, just because of his track record, and it hasn't been great in terms of the live action. I mean, of course, like Mando season 1, season 2 were pretty great, but then it kind of trailed off. And we'll see with Ahsoka season 2 coming later this year. We'll see.
A lot of
I'm
people like Andor. Is
yeah,
Andor good?
Andor's great, but that's not Dave Filoni.
Oh,
Yeah, so that's Tony Gilroy, who worked on Rogue One, and that was his like love child. That was his project, Tony Gilroy. So
a lot of people
Filoni,
like Rogue One more than 7, 8, and 9 combined.
yeah, Rogue One
I
was so good.
I need to see that again.
That's great. Yeah, I had no idea it made $1 billion.
It made
Great.
1 billion.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I can maybe see why Star Wars fans would be like, "Hey, maybe we should have gotten that guy who had a successful post Disney a Star Wars film,
Yeah.
who had a very successful one that fans loved too. It wasn't just the critics, because
Hmm.
the critics love 7, 8, and 9, but it wasn't, it wasn't just the critics that loved it. It was the fans that loved it, and he's making one now, Andor, which a lot of people really like. So now, as a Star Wars fan, I might be like, okay, wait, maybe I have pause here about this, because like you said, Mando season 3 was kind of dog water.
And Ahsoka season 1 wasn't great.
Yeah, so now I'm like, maybe. Okay, so
Yeah. We'll
only
see. It's a big question mark. I mean, but what's great is he loves Star Wars. So I mean, there's that. That's very key. That's great. So and plus he has someone with him with Lynwen Brennan, who's she's been an executive, so she's gonna handle more like the business side. So like their partnership is gonna be very similar to how the DCU is running with James Gunn and Peter Safran. So you're gonna have one who handles more of the creative and one who handles more of the business.
okay.
So that's good because I know studio heads, especially someone like Kevin Feige, he is overworked, and he's said it multiple times. He's like, yeah, it's a lot. So to have two people run a studio, that sounds like the way to go. Yeah, so I also wanted to get into this Netflix news, or Netflix / Warner Brothers news, because like I remember, David, I was telling you maybe it was like a few weeks ago, but I got into it with some just idiots on Facebook that there's this story posted where it was
They
like,
all. It seems like
yeah,
all the idiots are on Facebook,
probably,
and they're always
man,
talking about something we care about.
yeah, dude, it was so stupid. So the headline, and it's on this one Facebook group called A Shot, and they've posted factual stuff before, and I followed them because sometimes they'll post factual stuff and also post like some interesting things. But this time they posted this stupid story. It was like, Netflix is committing to 17-day theatrical releases for Warner Brothers films, confirmed. And it's like, then it's a source, Deadline. I'm like, Deadline did not say that. So of course I was like commenting, and I was like, and going into it, I was like, man, I know I'm gonna get flamed at, but like I gotta spit the truth because it is the truth, because Deadline didn't report that shit.
Yeah, it's
Yeah. So I did that. And of course, people came at me and they're like, no, it was confirmed. And the dude screenshots it, sends me an image, highlights the freaking the statement that says it. And he's like, can you read? This is what it says. I'm like, can you fucking read? It doesn't say that. It was so stupid. Like, it literally, like, no part of it said what, no part of it said Warner, like Netflix is doing this with Warner Bros. It just said Netflix is a proponent of 17-day theatrical releases. It never said Netflix is doing 17-day theatrical releases with Warner Bros. Films. Not happening.
literally people can't read. I mean, it's
It's so ridiculous. Oh my god.
I totally understand your frustration. I
Ugh.
totally understand.
So yeah, so here we get to this great story, and I love hearing this because once we heard, or like once I heard Netflix was getting Warner Brothers, I think everyone was like, "Oh shit!" Like, theatrical movies for Warner Brothers, they're going straight to Netflix. We're not getting theatrical films, or we're getting short 70-day windows. No. So we got the story coming from Variety. Netflix to keep Warner Bros. Movies in theaters for 45-day window, says Ted Sarandos. I want to win the box office. So Ted Sarandos keeps insisting that Netflix has come to make money from Warner Brothers' theatrical movie business, not to bury it. Yeah, I specifically want to read this quote from him. So he says, when this deal closes, we will own a theatrical distribution engine that is phenomenal and produces billions of dollars of theatrical revenue that we don't want to put at risk. We will run that business largely like it is today, with 45-day windows, Sarandos said. I'm giving you a hard number. We're going to be in the theatrical business, and we're competitive people. We want to win. I want to win opening weekend. I want to win box office. I mean, I love hearing that. And it's crazy for me to like champion this because coming from
The switch up is crazy.
right? Yeah, because I mean, like, I feel like everyone was like, "Oh, Netflix is gonna bury this," but it's like, like when you really think about it, why would Netflix? Because on one episode of the John Campbell show, he was talking about the like net value of each movie theater, and AMC is like, I think around 6 million, or no, 6 billion, and I'm pretty sure 6 billion. And it's like, well, why would Ted Sarandos pay, or why yeah, so why would Netflix buy Warner Brothers at 83 billion to tank the movie industry if they just paid like 6 billion for, like, for AMC and just tank it there? Like, why would they spend that much more? And
Right.
it just didn't make sense. So I mean, I was like, yeah, that makes total sense. Like, why would he do that? Why would he buy a company just to tank it and like consume it into Netflix? So like that made so much sense. So yeah, David, what's your thoughts on this news, that this good news?
It is good news, but the switch up is literally insane. I mean, earlier this year, not earlier this year, but a few months ago, he was saying that Netflix, like people aren't wanting to go to the theater, blah 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 blah, like, and that's why Netflix is winning, which is kind of true in a way. It seemed like he wasn't a proponent of theaters, but yet he, they dropped K-pop Demon Hunters, and guess what? Top the box office, and like money talks. So
Yeah.
he's like, okay, we can win, and we can actually compete at the theater for stuff that people have already seen. The
Yeah.
K-pop Demon Hunters, like everyone who went and saw that had like already seen the movie for sure because it
Yeah.
was a sing-along version. So like the switch up is crazy, and this is what we were saying, and other people like us, we're saying like they should drop the movies in theaters. People will go see them. People want to see good movies. We
Mhm.
have a good movie in theaters. I mean, we saw it with Stranger Things.
Yeah. Which was like I don't know, I forgot what you'd call it, but it was almost like a love letter to movie theaters that Netflix is like, here you go, because Netflix didn't charge
Yes,
anything.
absolutely.
It's great.
Netflix didn't charge. They didn't charge anything. The actors actually didn't make any extra money from it.
Yep.
And it all went to the theaters. So it's like that's a heavy theater support thing, and it made theaters $30 million in the 2 days, Friday and Saturday, that it was in. So this is good news. Switch up is crazy, and this is what we were saying. It's like finally, good news for theaters. Let's make good movies in the theaters for us to go see.
Yes, for sure, man. Very exciting news. All right, guys, let us know your thoughts on that story. Happy to hear that there's a nice substantial window for Warner Brothers films, even though Netflix is they're still doing their 17-day window, because that's them, and he's specific with Netflix keeping that. Okay, yeah, I mean, that's okay, I get it. But at least for Warner Brothers, we're getting the standard 45-day window. That's good. It's good news.
Excited for this.
All right. I'm very excited. All right, guys, we are back. We are Rich and Sal. We talk movies, TV shows, all that stuff here. But we're a very exciting thing I wanted to show you, David, is a quick reaction of something we created together back in college, which which was a specific gun battle. And
okay.
yeah, so I mean, this was around the time when I think I found John Wick, and I always loved action sequences and crafting my own sequences. So we're gonna get into it, and let's react to one of my kind of like micro short films from college. All right, you ready, David?
I'm ready.
Let's do it.
Oh my god. This is Jake in real life now.
Yeah, it is. Got murked.
Oh man. Oh my god,
dude, so good.
yeah. Just the stick explodes.
Dude, so good.
Yeah, I remember shooting that. That was really fun.
Yeah.
And man, that turned out better than I remember it.
Right? It's honestly not
Yeah.
bad.
It's not. Like like just throw some costumes on us
Yeah.
and like,
Like I
it's
love
not.
I like this. I remember I was editing this specific moment for a sec, like right here. Like I love just like as you're dodging and you got just the little like bullet spurts in the grass. It just looks so genuine, and especially like the shaky cam.
Yeah. It looked, yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
Again, better than I remember for sure.
Oh man, it was so much fun. Luckily, this day it wasn't blistering cold like when we did
Oh
the
no.
wizard battle, which
Yeah.
we'll probably react to that at some point. I didn't like that one.
So this
We'll
so
see.
this would have been 20
Probably 2017.
dang. So that's like nearly 9 years ago.
Dude, you're right.
Crazy. Yeah, again, yeah, that's better than I remember it
Right.
being. Like
Thanks.
it's not that bad. Just throw some like genuine looking firearms and costumes, and like you increase the production value by
Yeah,
like
for sure.
10x.
Very fun. Yeah, I mean this one looking back at it, trying to think what I do differently. Like I liked the movement within each shot or within each like gunshot. Like sometimes the camera will move, especially on that last shot when you shot him. Just the bink, just like the spurt of blood. So much fun. Got to get back to it at some point.
And it's interesting in like real movies and real TV, the actors don't mimic recoil like we were.
No, they do. I think it's just dependent on because some sets have like just guns with blanks, and they can actually feel the recoil.
John Wick, I know, was with rubber. It was rubber guns.
Okay. Well, yeah, but like there's still legit recoil. Oh, you're
I
saying
don't think
rubber
so.
guns?
Yeah, they
Mm,
shot with like not a real gun.
you sure?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
Like
dude, like
I don't
I've
think there's recoil.
I am a John Wick fiend, and I have not seen uh like weirdness with gunshots. I mean, especially
Well,
because
that's
like
right. It doesn't look weird at all. But it is with a rubber gun, according to something that I read on the internet at
mm,
some point in time that I can't remember the source for.
I feel like you're wrong, but I don't know. Let's see. All right,
If
that
anyone in
was
the
it.
comments sees this moment, settle the debate.
Yes, flame us if you can. Flame on. All right,
Slime
guys.
us, as the children say.
Slime us?
Yeah, the phrase is like getting slimed on.
Was that like throwback to Nickelodeon?
Maybe. I think, but yeah, the children are saying get slimed on.
All right,
The more
guys.
you
Well,
know.
if you want to see more reactions like that, let us know. We're be excited to go into that a little bit more because that was fun. It's a good time. All right, guys. With that down, we're moving on to something I am so excited about: the show God of War. Which coming into this recent news we got, this show is shaping up to be super special. We talked about it on the show before. I think David, it was that show that you were gone, but I dove into it because this show is shaping up to be good. We got a great director attached to it. I want to say from what I remember, he worked on was it Game of Thrones or some other big show, and I want to say maybe he did Fallout, maybe some other stuff. He's done. Let's just say he's done great television. So this director's coming in to shoot some shows because most TV shows have multiple different directors for episodes, but you have a very highly just prominent showrunner in Ronald D. Moore, who's created fabulous shows in the past. He's coming in to do this God of War show. We got some great casting news, and the big question was who's going to play Kratos? Who's going to play the God of War himself? This big ass dude. Like, can they get someone who's big enough? And they did. And the big question is, can he bulk up? I mean, why not? We'll see. But this story comes to us from the Hollywood Reporter. We get Ryan Hurst to star in Prime Video's God of War series. So, Ryan Hurst will star in the series based on the hugely popular PlayStation video game franchise. He'll play Kratos, a Spartan warrior who traded his soul to Ares in exchange for victory in battle. Kratos has been the main character in the franchise that spans 10 video games. Now, this is really cool too. So, Hurst has a prior connection to the franchise, having voiced Thor in God of War Ragnarok. The series will follow the storyline of the two most recent God of War games, which introduced Kratos' 10-year-old son, Atreus. The two will embark on a journey to spread the ashes of their wife/mother, Faye. The show's logline reads, through their adventures, Kratos tries to teach his son to be a better god, while Atreus tries to teach his father to be a better human. More so, better person. And you also get, I want to highlight Cory Barlog, who's just the guy behind the most recent God of War game. And he's also working on another game at the moment. Curious to see what that's about. Maybe another God of War game. We'll see. But man, this is some wild, exciting news because, again, so the big question was who's going to play Kratos? And man, they got this guy. Now, I've not seen Sons of Anarchy, but from what I heard, it's a fantastic show. And he's a big guy. He's tall. He's got, I mean, if you look at, like, this is the shot that they opened with. And man, he could totally play Kratos. He's got, again, because it was really cool because he voiced Thor in the most recent God of War game, Ragnarok, which came out in 2023. And he's got such a great voice. And for Kratos, you need to have someone who has that voice and who has the physicality, who has just that demeanor of just, he's the guy. And he's the guy you do not want to mess with. And what's really cool is, of course, his relationship with, okay, well, here's a shot with him and Thor in the most recent game. They have, David, they have this sick battle in the second game, dude. Oh my God, it's so good. But again, like the big thing is with these two characters, Atreus and Kratos. And David, are you aware of any God of War stories or games by chance?
I'm not really that familiar with anything related to the games. I know they're very popular and they're very story rich, and a lot of people like them for that in their first player games.
Yeah. Yeah, mainly the most recent two are like the huge endeavor into like a great narrative. Now, I played the first three, which came out, it was around like PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3 era, and they were great, but they were more kind of like arcadey style, not as like the typical gameplay nowadays, like in the form of like Last of Us or almost kind of like some of the Batman Arkham games, just that combat style, like focus on good combat with transitioning into a good story. But man, the most recent God of War games, God of War, which came out in 2018, then God of War Ragnarok came out in 2023. Golly, I mean, just a powerhouse narrative with these two characters and lots of great characters throughout. Like this show can tackle so much. It's already ordered 2 seasons, so they have a lot of faith in this already, especially with a great showrunner behind it. So going into this show, it's got all the hype, and the big question is who's going to play Atreus, who's going to play his son, and I feel like the hot topic is like it could be the kid from Adolescence, which Adolescence is getting so much Emmy or lots of just award season buzz, and like if they're saying he could play, it's like yeah, sure, why not, and that could be very interesting. I remember this was a shot from the promo from the most recent game, but I
Wow,
mean,
that's a
just
cool shot.
right now, this wasn't from the game specifically. They specifically made this shot like in a high tech engine to craft it. But regardless, like you still have the idea of this within the game because they tackle lots of the Norse mythology stuff. And it's funny because it does like it ties, like even though in the MCU we get Norse mythology with Thor and Loki, and you get that within this franchise as well, but it's the more traditional Norse mythology where Thor is not a good guy and he's flawed, but he has like every character, you want to have multiple dimensions, and there are multiple characters in this game that have just great dimensionality to them. But again, harkening back to that story from the Hollywood Reporter and how Atreus is trying to teach his father to be a better person, and Kratos in his past has really led him to this present with Atreus to try and teach his son just to be a better god, because coming from being his son is now a god as well, and there's so much power. There's a lot of just lots of bad they can do with that power. And Kratos, dude, Kratos has done so much bad. He's a bad guy, but he's still your protagonist, and like you still fear for him. You feel for him, and what they did in this recent game, in just the character development he's gone through is just so special. And I hope they tackle that as well in the show as they did in the game. David, you got any more thoughts on this news?
So I have seen a video on it, and this came from someone who is kind of in the game space more so than the movie space.
Yeah.
And he had said that he did not like the fact that they were making this into a show because basically the source material of the game is already good enough, and you can basically already experience the game as a movie because there is like a movie mode, I think, where like it, I guess for whatever reason you don't have to do a lot of gameplay.
Well, I would say that what that probably is just like an edited video on YouTube where it's just the entire game, just minus the gameplay. Because from what I know, I don't, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's just that.
So the game mode where it's like movie mode or cinematic mode or whatever,
Right.
that mode is just the entire, all like the cutscenes without the gameplay.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Is that what
probably
you're
it is.
saying?
I don't know if it's like that in the game because I haven't looked too deep into that. But from what I know, on YouTube, you could just look up just the story of God of War and you could just watch it minus the gameplay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, when I hear someone say something like that, that makes me not want to play the game because typically if a film or TV adaptation is created of a source material that is a different medium than a TV show or movie, then it ruins the experience of the movie or TV adaptation that you have. It happens all the time with books just because of the detail that is in books. You can't have that in film and TV. So if you want to really enjoy those things, you really shouldn't read the book because you don't really have that. So when I hear a comment like that, I'm thinking, okay, I probably shouldn't play the game until this comes out so that I can really enjoy the TV show for what it is. And then go back and experience the game because you can enjoy that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I think another thing that this game does so well is the gameplay. And I'm a very harsh critic on combat within video games. Like I think the Batman Arkham games, Arkham Origins, Arkham Asylum, Arkham Knight, they've really pioneered the great combat system that a lot of games have today. Like Ghost of Tsushima and even some of the Star Wars games with Jedi Survivor and Fallen Order, they've really pioneered like just a great combat system. While each games coming after that since then has just improved on it and made subtle differences here and there to make it their own. For me, the gameplay combined with the story is beautifully done. Especially what's really cool in this game is that it flows like a one shot. So when you're in gameplay, it'll flow into the next scene fluidly, or just smoothly. It's really neat how it does that. So there's no cuts. There's no cuts anywhere unless you like pause the screen and all
There's
that.
no cuts for the cutscene.
Yeah, no cuts for cutscenes. It flows right into it, and it's so cool. It's really cool. Yeah. Now we also got great news. We got our who's playing Lady Sif, who's playing Thor's wife, Teresa Palmer, which she's great. Great actress. So we got that news recently. So we're getting more cast. Freya, we'll see who plays her. She plays a very pivotal role in this in the game. So curious to see who plays her. But the big question: who's going to be Atreus? There's a lot of good kid actors out there. That's God of War coming. So they're filming probably like around the summer of this year. They're filming in Vancouver. Lots of things film in Vancouver. Like everything films out there. But super excited. It's going to be my most anticipated thing probably for 2027. It's I'm so geeked about it, David. I'm gonna go crazy.
Geeked out of your mind.
Geeked out of my mind. All right, guys, let us know your thoughts on this recent news. Ryan Hurst as Kratos. Let us know if you like it. Let us know if you don't. Curious to hear your thoughts on everything God of War. All right, guys, with that down, we're moving on to some big lizard news, some exciting lizard news. We got Godzilla not minus one, but Godzilla minus zero coming in hot. Godzilla minus zero sets November release in theaters. The sequel to the sleeper hit Godzilla minus one has set a date to rampage into North American theaters. It will arrive on November 6th via distributor not G Kids. The date follows quickly on the heels of Godzilla owner Toho releasing the feature in Japan on November 3rd. As previously revealed, the sequel titled Godzilla Minus Zero, no casting details are yet available, but the first movie took place in post-World War II Japan and centered on a kamikaze pilot, Koichi, that name, who lives in shame after choosing not to die. Who lives in shame after choosing not to die in battle, but he ultimately finds redemption as he helps his nation deal with the monster known as Godzilla. Godzilla Minus One was one of the surprise success stories of 2023. Made for just $15 million, it grossed $113 million worldwide and took home the Oscar for Best Visual Effects. First Academy Award for the franchise in its 70-year history. It earned praise from all over Hollywood and counts Steven Spielberg as an avid fan. All right. We got Godzilla Minus Zero coming. David, we'll get your thoughts up top. What do you think about this?
I'm curious to know the plot. Like, when does this take place? Do we know?
We know nothing.
Oh,
yeah. This
okay.
so this is essentially just teasing that we got a date, which is
Okay.
something.
So we have a date, but is it from the makers of Godzilla Minus
Yeah,
One?
it's from them.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, there's
So
sources
we
are
have.
telling. Yeah, it's
So
legit.
we have. Okay.
It's legit, David. Come on.
Oh, I'm not doubting. I'm not doubting that it's legit. That
Yeah.
it's not fake or legit or anything. I just want to know how much trust I can put into hearing without knowing anything about it. You know,
I get
because
it.
like the first movie blew people's expectations away. If someone like Steven Spielberg was raving about it, especially for the visual effects, I really liked the way Godzilla looked. I personally thought that this Godzilla and Godzilla Minus One was the best looking Godzilla of the massive big budget Godzilla movies that we have seen. I thought it looked phenomenal, and we got actually a lot of footage of the monster. The monster was on screen a lot of the time. Like that looks, I mean, stunning to me, honestly.
This boat shot, man. I want to say, you know what's crazy? So I've never seen Jaws, but I feel like Spielberg seeing this probably reminded him of Jaws.
Yes, I probably, yeah, it probably reminded him of Jaws for sure. So with the same creators that gave us really rich and deep characters and a rich and deep story, I can only expect the same for this next Godzilla Minus Zero movie. Maybe even, they probably got a bigger production budget, so it's going to be
Yeah.
interesting to see what else they're going to be able to spend on.
Yeah. That I will say what's interesting is like when creating anything, like I forgot the saying, but the more you have, or it's more so like the less you have, the more creative you can really be.
Nolan
So
said that too.
yeah, so hopefully they don't fall into that. But regardless, it seems like the director slash creator of these films, he truly cares. Like they all care for this. And
Mhm.
I mean, the one thing for me with this film with minus one is just the real human story of just losing the honor of, I mean, like he was supposed to die. He's a kamikaze pilot, but just
Mhm.
that shame that was brought on him was such a human thing. And I mean, the big thing, especially with the American Godzilla films, it's like no one wants to see the humans. We want to see Godzilla smash everything.
Mhm.
And for the most part, they still kind of focus on the humans just as a touch too much. But within this film that's from Japan, they focus on the humans, but they focus on them in such a great way. With the
Yes.
humanity. The
Yeah.
humanity is there and just the real emotions of just human life and what we fear the shame it could bring upon you, but the triumph in the end. He was the true underdog, and we love an underdog in any movie, in any story, and he was the true underdog in this. Where is the guy? Yeah, that guy right there.
Yeah.
He was great, and I mean, I still remember the it's been a minute since I've seen it, but the story with what was it like his? It was kind of like his girlfriend, right? Who
Yeah.
it seemed like she died. I like you really thought she died because she like
Yeah.
stepped out and she got wiped away. I don't know how
Blown
she
away.
lived. That was pretty gnarly. But yeah, and so you're bringing up how he looks, man. He looked fantastic, but also he looked mean compared to the American Godzilla, which I love the look for the American Godzilla. I think he's really cute. He like I love him as a pet. I mean, he's low key adorable. But this Godzilla right here, a menacing SOB. Uh Man, I mean, and just seeing the destruction of the cities within this film, man, it was brutal. And seeing it on the big screen, I was so glad I saw this in theaters because it was around the time the hype was at an all-time high. It's like, if you could see it in theaters, go see it. I'm like, okay. And it was great. It was such a fun time. Cannot wait to see Minus Zero in theaters. David, you got any more thoughts?
Nothing really. I wish we knew a little more.
Yeah,
But
we will
we'll
soon.
we'll find out. We'll find out soon. And if it's anything like the first one, if it matches that level, I think it could double in terms of revenue, especially with the success of the first one.
Yeah. Now, there was one thing I did want to touch on, and I hope to not get flamed, but I do feel like the hype for this was a little too much, and people thought like this was like the greatest thing, like towards the end of 2023. I don't know. It just seemed like it was just like too. It was just so much hype, which is great, but I mean that's just me. I think it was like overhyped in a sense, but
Hmm.
regardless, it was still fun. I had a great time. I can't wait to see Minus Zero. And then, so with them winning Best Visual Effects, I do feel like that win was kind of for the story. Like, I'm not saying the story of this film. I'm saying for the story just of Godzilla minus one winning an Oscar. Like the Oscars
Okay.
voters kind of they did it for that. Like they
Hmm.
yeah, you kind of get what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying, and like they
Because
def.
I will say like it was going up against the movie Creator, which was great, and the visual effects in the Creator were spectacular, and how they went about that. So from what I was seeing from back then when the award season was going on, people were saying like the Creator probably should win because technically it's better than this. But for the story of Godzilla winning an Oscar, it could potentially go to minus one winning an Oscar, so it
Hmm.
did.
I see what you're saying, and I also see what you're saying with the overhype, because people probably were like, "Oh, it's so good," and it's the $15 million budget. So like they're saying, "Oh, it's so underrated." So like everyone is saying it's underrated, which makes it kind of overrated in that sense. If everyone says it's underrated, it's not really underrated.
Hmm.
It's overrated. So
Yep.
I think that's probably where you're coming from, and I can see, I understand that.
Yeah. Yeah. It just seems yeah, it was kind of a weird thing, but I mean it's great. Like I'd say regardless, like getting people to go to a theater to see it. Lots of people were saying that. Like go to a theater and see this because you're gonna have a blast. And I did. I know lots of people did in the theater that I was in. So Godzilla minus zero coming in hot at the end of this year. This year is going to be crazy with films. It's going to be a fun time. But let us know your thoughts on Godzilla minus zero if you're excited for it. Curious to hear them. All right, guys, with that down, we're moving on to magic. We're going back to Magic Lands, the world of Harry Potter, and some really interesting news that we got Hans Zimmer coming in to score the HBO Max show Harry Potter. So Hans Zimmer to compose Harry Potter HBO series original score with Bleeding Fingers Music, which is his music company. So
Okay, I was gonna say, why are his fingers bleeding? Man, he's
So
working really hard.
he
Holy cow.
is. So yeah, essentially the story goes on. Let's see. The musical legacy of Harry Potter is a touch point for composers everywhere, and we are humbled to join such a remarkable team on a project of this magnitude, said Zimmer. And Bleeding Fingers music composers Karatalv and Anzi Rosman. The responsibility is something that myself, Karatalv, and Anzi Rosman do not take lightly. Magic is all around us, often just beyond our reach, but as in the world of Harry Potter, you simply must look for it. With this score, we hope to bring audiences that little bit closer to whilst honoring what has come before. All right. Hans Zimmer coming in to score Harry Potter. What's really fascinating and just awesome to know is that what's like going into this show, it seems like there's a lot of care, there's a lot of love because there's lots of great directors attached to this, showrunners. The I want to say the showrunners from Succession, which that show, by goodness, the awards buzz it got was insane. And I want to say someone else is tied to it from Game of Thrones. I think I could be wrong, but I mean we're getting some very credited people tied to this, and we got a lot of the cast announced. But to the world of Harry Potter, I mean, and Dave, I was telling you before the show, Sci-Fi right now on cable, they're running Harry Potter films all day, and like, man, you could jump in at any point of any of the films and just get sucked into it. It's just those films are so special. I remember seeing I think I was around like maybe 12 seeing them for the first time. And I watched them. It's funny, like me, I'm such a proprietor of go see a film on the big screen or watch it at least on your biggest TV at the least. If you watch it on a phone or a tablet, you're dead to me. But when I was young, when I was young, I was watching it on my tablet. So I'd go back in time and smack myself, man. Come on. But even within like this little kid seeing it on his tablet, I was entranced in the world of Harry Potter. And the world that they crafted was so beautiful with wonderful characters. So many, like that show, that franchise is such a wonderful example of so many characters that are all complex and dimensional in their own ways that are so entertaining. And with the show, that you could, I mean, clearly they're going to go into the books more that they couldn't have done in the films, and they're going to go into more detail within characters and narratives. Man, I cannot wait. David, what's your thoughts on this recent news, and what's your thoughts on Harry Potter?
So, really quickly, I want to touch on watching on a small screen. I remember, do you remember the iPod Nano?
Yeah, of course.
So,
Dude,
do you
that's
remember
crazy.
do you remember the,
Dude,
do you
that screen's like
remember,
this. Like,
yes. So, I somehow convinced my parents to buy an episode of Mythbusters on iTunes and watched it on my iPod Nano. I mean the screen is smaller than my webcam. And I'm just sitting like in bed, like I watched the whole thing and I'm like, man, this was not that enjoyable.
Oh my god, so good.
So I just had to quickly throw that in there because I
That's
remember
great.
that experience so vividly.
That's so good.
But as far as Harry Potter and Max, so are they gonna make like all 7
So here's the plan.
seasons?
They plan to do a season a year. So shooting every year. I want to say they're doing like to start, they're doing 2, maybe 3, and then seeing how it goes year after year. But yeah, it's gonna be a yearly thing. So they're not gonna be fighting the Stranger Things curse of
How
shooting
many
like every 3
episodes?
years. Probably the usual nowadays. There's like 8 to 10.
All right, I mean, though, that's a good sign every year. That's really cool. And
Really good.
like you said, they can essentially 8-hour long movies. You can just go so much more in detail into the books. That was my biggest gripe. I didn't see any movie after 3 because 3 was so far different from the book, and I had read the books. I was like, I lost all trust in the movies. And like I was saying earlier, the reading of the source material destroyed the movie experience for me because they changed like huge things in the third book, and I'm like, man, like this was so dumb. But it's the limitations of film. But now they can go into it in so much more detail. So I wonder how that's going to change, in the reflection. But onto Hans Zimmer, I can't imagine scoring something for a movie or a show. I can't imagine how, like, my brain just can't even like comprehend what that would be like. I need to make music. Like, I don't even know how do I make music? It just, like, my mind could not comprehend it. Like we were talking about earlier, where if something has too big of a budget, it can cause the production to not be as creative and kind of throw money at something. And so I was initially, when I was reading through the topics for today and I saw this, I was worried a little bit because, like, Hans Zimmer's are probably very expensive in terms of getting
Yeah.
him to score something. But there's a reason why. It's because he's really good,
Yeah. Yeah,
right?
and I think that's a great point because this show, these creators, executives are throwing money at people because they want this to be good. Like
Hmm.
they have faith that this can really be something special.
Yeah, and getting something like him is really powerful because he's gonna take the time and have the respect for it that it needs. I remember in like fourth or fifth grade when Mr. Bauer, the orchestra teacher for elementary school, came into class and was showing the different instruments and orchestra, played the Harry Potter theme on the violin. Na, 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 na. And I was just like, holy, I need to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And I signed up to learn how to play the viola because that's what he played on. He played on the viola, and I was like, I'm gonna learn how to play the Harry Potter theme because it sounded like, just like, I was just
Like
hooked. And I didn't end up figuring out how, and I quit doing it. It was too much work for me. But I have that vivid memory of that theme of Harry Potter.
Yeah.
It's such like a good theme, and it's
John
so
Williams, yeah.
powerful, and it's really good. So with something as game changing of as that theme, you have to get someone as game changing as Hans Zimmer to really give it the respect that it deserves. And I don't think this is a throwing money at it moment. You need him, like, you need a winner.
Yeah.
Um, but I think Hans Zimmer has worked on a project where someone threw money at him. I don't know if you know this, but I believe he composed something for the Los Angeles Clippers.
Okay. No, I'm not aware.
I'm not 100%. Someone fact check me on that. But the LA Clippers owner is like an old Microsoft CEO, like, not CEO, but executive, who has like a astronomically stupid amount of
Yeah.
money,
Yeah, he's
and
yeah.
he spent an astronomically stupid amount of money on Hans Zimmer to compose like an intro song or whatever during the games.
Yeah.
And I remember listening to him like, okay, well, this doesn't seem that good, honestly. It could just be that it's like a basketball intro, and that's something that maybe he's not that familiar with,
Yeah.
or he doesn't really like to do, because he was probably overpaid, because someone, again, like Hans Zimmer, is going to give it the respect and the time that it needs. And I'm excited to see what he comes up with, especially because it's hard to top what Harry Potter already has in
Dude,
terms of
yeah.
music.
Yeah.
It's like really hard to top.
Yeah, it's really hard. Yeah, and it's like they definitely don't need to top it. I mean,
No.
like Zimmer said, like he said, we will make the like we're gonna do our own thing, but we will make the ties to the original as it was so profound and it's gonna have inspiration of that as well. And I think kind of coming back to like when I think of an example like that done very well was recently with Superman, with tying back to the original John Williams score, going back to John Williams again and, I wanna say was it John Murphy? I think so, who was the new composer for James Gunn's Superman, but taking that score of Williams and using it in a different way, but still has that essence of what it was. So,
Mhm.
I think Zimmer can definitely do that. This is our first this is like the first shot of the 3 kids who's gonna play Harry, Ron, and Hermione. It's I mean, they look the part. What's really cool is that the girl who plays Hermione, so supposedly she's a pretty stacked actress for how young she is because she's done plays at the West End, which is like the UK's version of, you know, like Broadway.
Mhm.
So like she knows her stuff. And I don't know the kid who's playing Ron or her, but yeah, I don't know any of them, but they apparently they screen tested well. And I remember, yeah, we got our first look at Harry on the left and Nick Frost playing Hagrid on the right, which that was lots of people were suspecting he was going to play Hagrid, the beloved Nick Frost. He looks the part. Yeah, we got some more casting with the Weasley family. I mean, man, lots of characters. Again, the Harry Potter franchises has the franchise just has so many rich characters, which lots of great dimension to them that are always so super fun. Harry Potter coming in hot sometime next year. Let us know your thoughts if you're excited for Hans Zimmer coming in to score this series. Should be exciting. Let us know your thoughts. All right, guys, with that down, we are moving on to our last topic of the show, which are getting into concert films. And I specifically wanted to touch on 21 Pilots because, well, for one, if you did not know, I'm a huge 21 Pilots fan. And they just announced that they have their concert film coming out at the end of February. And specifically for IMAX, they marketed that. Love people marketing for IMAX because IMAX, for me, IMAX is my preferred viewing of films because it is big and you get that full immersion. And especially for concert films, IMAX probably is the way to go because you get that immersion like you're at a concert. And this concert film is going to touch on their performance in, I want to say, Mexico City, and it's going to tie into some behind the scenes as well. But I know this is a huge love letter to the fans. And if you did not know, the fans of 21 Pilots are, I wouldn't say ravenous, but there's lots of them. I feel like I consider them not like Swifties, but of that ilk of a Swiftie, which is funny, which is interesting because today when I was grocery shopping, there was a girl wearing a 21 Pilots sweater, and I was like, "Hey, I like 21 Pilots." She was like, "Cool, yeah, I think I was like, "Are you going to see the film?" She's like, "Yeah." So she was ecstatic about it, and I feel like lots of fans of this band are super hyped for it because we have not gotten a concert film for them before. And I wanted to touch on concert films because recently, especially with Taylor Swift, the boom that the Eras Tour film did was crazy. And it was really neat because Swift did an exclusive deal with AMC to just directly release it through them. Like she didn't go through a distributor to do so. She just went straight to AMC and was like, "Hey, I got this. Let's make this happen." And they did it. And boy, they made bank on that film. Because I mean, I remember going to the theater and I was tempted on seeing it because the hype was so high, and just hearing like whenever I'd go, like the adjacent theater to me to the movie that I was seeing that day had the Air Store playing, and I heard it throughout, and it was like during my screening I heard just booming and just I was like, man, they're going crazy over there. And oh, I forgot what film I was watching, but oh, I was watching Killers of the Flower Moon with Leo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro. That was Scorsese's film, and it was really long and kind of a slog in moments. And there'd be moments throughout where I'd hear the Eras Tour, and I'm like, shit, I kind of want to go over there and party with them. like, man, I want to get out of this because that film was a low key slog. It was really good, but it was kind of a slog. But man, that was so much fun. So I feel like I don't think this is going to be as big as the Eras Tour. It definitely won't be, but I think this could do some really good, some good revenue for theaters because they need it, and I would love to see that happen. David, what's your thoughts on just concert films in general? You think if they're worth it to do?
I have always thought they were dumb. I have I have legitimately always thought they were dumb because like I don't know, I've never been someone to watch music. Like I listen to it, like I don't watch it. So like for me, I like okay, they're just playing songs. Like why would I want to see that? You know,
Well,
like the
well, yeah, but it's just like you're at a concert, so they're kind
but
of
I'm not
mimicking
though.
that.
I'm watching it on a screen. I'm not at the concert.
But you're seeing it on a big screen though. It's big.
Sure. Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's never been something that has intrigued me.
Okay, that's fair.
However, seeing the success of the Eras tour, it kind of makes me think like, okay, maybe there has to be something to this, right? And concerts themselves are almost like IRL movies in a way, if when you are there, which is why they feel like they can like release it because the visuals can be so immersive that people feel. I mean, I again, this never, I've never felt the need to, and also there's never been a concert movie for a band that like I would want to see. But 21 Pilots would be a band that I like. That okay, this might be interesting to go and see a
Mhm.
concert movie. I might want to see this. It's intriguing. Um, Simply because it's a band that I like and I listen to, but like it never has been before, and I've always thought it was dumb to me personally. I'm not someone that really likes concerts that much,
Hmm.
and that is probably part of the reason why I think it's dumb is because I don't really seek out concerts intentionally at all. So why would I want to go watch a movie
For sure.
that's just a concert? If it gets people to the theater, it sounds like a great thing for the theaters themselves and also for the artists. They can basically go on tour and have this amazing experience and then just like repackage the concert as a movie
Pretty
and
much.
make millions more.
Yeah, so they are throwing some behind the scenes in this as well. So at least it's like their concert movie, so we're getting more ties within the concert itself. But man, uh, I don't know if I'll see this, but I mean we'll see what's coming out around that time because I think it's only going to be in theaters for 4 days, and from what I've seen, I checked out if people are hyped to see it, if like lots of seats are being sold out, and on opening day, from what I've seen, there lots of seats are already taken. So that's a great sign. We'll see if I mean, and this is we're over a month out from the end of February, so I mean by then I could see everything filling up pretty quick, which is great. Like we want theaters to succeed. We want them to make that dough. And dude, let's do it. Let's like I don't think there's that many. I mean, of course it depends on the band, but I mean, you probably have to be a pretty successful band to release a concert film and earn that amount of revenue. And 21 Pilots, I believe, is that band that can do so. Because like I said, they have their own their what's called the clique where they love this band dearly. And you see lots of them throughout this teaser we get. It's gonna be super exciting. Love 21 Pilots. But 21 Pilots coming with a concert film towards the end of February. Let us know if you guys are excited for it. Let us know if you're a 21 Pilots fan. I'd love to connect and chat music. I love talking music. Josh Junn being the drummer, he's a huge inspiration for me. It's one of the reasons why I'm drumming is his drumming style is just wonderful and is such an inspiration to me. So let us know if you're excited for this concert film. Curious to hear your thoughts. With that down, we have come to this conclusion of this episode of the Rich Salad Show. Um, lots of really cool news with some big projects. God of War, HBO with the Harry Potter series. Some great news from Netflix that they're planning to release Warner Brother films as they would normally do. Lots of great stuff coming. David, what's your thoughts?
Another great show. Been a pleasure to do this again. Episode 13. Check it out.
Check it out, indeed. All right, guys, let us know your thoughts on this episode. What excited you? What frightened you? I don't know. Curious to hear them. See you next week.